Hello friends! Recently, an AI tool called WalterWrites has become incredibly popular online. It claims to do something big, instantly transform your dry, robotic sounding AI written text into something that sounds human. So, is this a magic tool or a cheat device? Today, we're gonna dissect it, starting from a small internet sensation all the way to the multi-trillion-dollar AI proxy war behind it, which even involves geopolitics. Are you ready? Buckle up, because there's a lot of information coming your way. Let's start with the first layer, the magic of AI rewriting. What exactly does this thing do? Let's look at a comparison. For example, if you ask ChatGPT to write a work email, you get the robot version, subject, follow-up on Q3 deliverables. Dear team, following our meeting, the Q3 deliverables have been finalized for review. We require your feedback by the end of the workday on Friday. Doesn't that just scream AI? Now, if you throw that same text into WalterWrites, you get the humanized version. Subject, quick update on Q3 deliverables. Hi everyone, just a quick sync up. The Q3 deliverables are locked in. Please take a look when you have a moment and let me know if everything is okay. Hope you all have a great start to the week. Doesn't that feel different? It adds phrases like hi everyone and okay, and even includes a line like hope you all have a great start to the week. This isn't just simple synonym replacement. It fundamentally changes the rhythm and structure of the text. AI writing is characterized by high predictability, which linguists call low perplexity, and sentences of very uniform length, or low burstiness. This tool is specifically designed to break that pattern. In short, its core function isn't just rewriting, but social camouflage. It adds a human friendliness to cold AI text. Moving on to the second layer, the arms race of cheating and anti-cheating. So, who is using this thing? The answer is mostly students. Its viral explosion online is because it addresses a core pain point for students, bypassing Turnitin, one of the world's most famous plagiarism and AI detection systems. WalterWrites directly advertised passing AI detectors like Turnitin and GPT-0, and that's what made it explode. In the first half of 2025, it was the king, with numerous Reddit posts claiming WalterWrites was the only tool that could consistently fool all major detectors. Tests showed it could reduce a 93% AI paper to only 3% AI traces. However, things took a turn in the second half of 2025. This arms race escalated. Turnitin updated its model in October 2025. Reviews found that an AI paper humanized by WalterWrites was flagged as 100% AI by Turnitin and 100% AI by ZeroGPT. The funniest part is that it was even flagged as 100% AI by WalterWrites' own detector. So, what's currently going viral might just be a lagging indicator of its past effectiveness. Now, let's discuss the third layer, the triple dilemma of a humanizing tool. A tool always has three types of users. First, there are the attackers who believe academic integrity is dead. There's not much to say here. These are students who use AI to write entire papers, then use this tool to rewrite them and submit them as assignments. This forces professors into the role of supervisors, and the foundation of trust in education is crumbling. Next, we have the defenders, who say, I'm being forced to do this. This is a crucial counterargument. Many users say that AI detectors themselves are unreliable. Research from Stanford University found that these detectors severely discriminate against non-native English speakers. Because the English written by these students deviates from standard English in grammar and sentence structure, it's often misreported as AI writing. For these innocent students, WalterWrites isn't a cheating tool, but a defensive tool. They use it to protect their writing from flawed detectors. Finally, there are the malicious actors who engage in deception as a service. This is the darkest side. Who do you think needs humanized AI the most? Scammers. Previously, if you received a scam email, you'd know it was fake by the grammatical errors and stiff wording. Now, on the dark web, there's FraudGPT and WormGPT, which are malicious AIs specifically designed to generate human-like text. Research shows that AI-generated ransomware and phishing emails have alarmingly high success rates. For example, a 72% open rate and a 40% increase in ransom payments. This is because they are more persuasive and human-like. Technically, a student using WalterWrites to disguise an AI paper and a scammer using FraudGPT to disguise a malicious email are functionally identical. All right, let's move from the internet back to reality, which is the fourth layer, the multi-trillion-dollar labor gamble. The explosion of small tools like WalterWrites is actually just a signal. It exposes a huge trend, and behind this trend stands Wall Street's top venture capital firm. a 16Z, or Andreessen Horowitz. A 16Z has a groundbreaking assertion. The old model was software as a filing cabinet, where software helped you record things, a market worth about $300 billion. The new model is software as labor, where AI is no longer just a tool, it is a worker. The ceiling for this market is the multi-trillion-dollar global white-collar labor market. But there's a fatal problem here. The output of this AI worker has a robotic flavor. Therefore, the humanization layer provided by tools like WalterWrites becomes a necessary prerequisite for this multi-trillion-dollar gamble to be realized. A 16Z is currently investing heavily in this area. They're using Harvey AI to replace lawyers. They're using Hippocratic AI to replace nurses. They're using Decagon to replace customer service. And fundamentally, these are all just WalterWrites in high-value vertical domains. Let's look at the fifth layer, the valuation bubble of star companies. Let's consider a 16Z star project, Cursor. This is an AI-native code editor. You could call it WalterWrites for programmers. How crazy is it? In November 2025, it just completed a $2.3 billion Series D funding round, pushing its valuation to $29.3 billion. The company claims its annual recurring revenue, or ARR, has exceeded $1 billion, making it one of the fastest growing companies in history. However, let's do some math. Cursor's claimed ARR is $1 billion. Its professional version costs about $20 per month. To reach $1 billion, it would need 4.2 million paying subscribers. Yet, at the beginning of 2025, it only had 360,000 paying customers. Where did the more than $900 million revenue gap come from? Analysts believe that Cursor is currently just a thin wrapper. It doesn't produce AI itself. It merely resells OpenAI and Google's model APIs. Some users have calculated that the money they pay to Cursor is far less than what it would cost to directly call the APIs. This strongly suggests that Cursor is likely burning cash to subsidize. Its $2.3 billion funding isn't for growth. It's for subsidizing massive inference costs, much like the cheap Uber of yesteryear. Now for the sixth layer, and the most crucial paradox, American vitality built on a Chinese stack. Everything discussed so far has just been the surface. Now comes the biggest bombshell. Martin Casado, a general partner at a 16Z, dropped a huge piece of news. Up to 80% of the AI startups pitching to them are built on Chinese open source models. Friends, this is the core paradox today. A 16Z has a flagship geopolitical investment philosophy called American dynamism. The explicit goal of this fund is to defeat China, warn of the China threat, and invest in American hard power AI, such as robotics and defense. So, on one hand, it's shouting American dynamism to take down China, and on the other hand, it's investing in companies that rely on Chinese technology stacks. Are these American capitalists crazy? No, because these 80% of startups choose Chinese models, such as Alibaba's Qwen and DeepSeek, not for political reasons, but for economic ones. Chinese open source models are fast and cheap, even orders of magnitude cheaper than their closed source American counterparts, and their performance is much stronger. Even Cursor, valued at $29.3 billion, is widely speculated to have its core proprietary model, Composer, fine-tuned on Chinese open source models. This is because developers have found that Cursor's agent will spit out Chinese characters when running. A 16Z's American dynamism, in practice, is funding an American application layer, Cursor, which in turn creates a huge commercial market for Chinese foundational models. This completely contradicts the mission of American dynamism. So, is a 16Z schizophrenic, or are they playing a bigger game? The answer is the latter. The reliance on Chinese models and Cursor's broken unit economics are just temporary problems. A 16Z's true moat is another independent fund, a 16Z crypto. This is a carefully planned two-step grand strategy. The first step, or Greenfield War, involves funding thin wrapper application layers like Cursor at all costs. This allows them to use the cheapest infrastructure, even Chinese open source models, to achieve blitzkrieg expansion. The goal is to snatch massive numbers of users from American giants like Microsoft and Google. The second step, migration and moat, is to immediately migrate this captured, massive user base from the Chinese backend to a 16Z's proprietary, decentralized infrastructure once market dominance is established. This is the ultimate convergence point of its three major theses: AI, crypto, and American dynamism. It invests in Gensen, a crowdsourced computing layer, to bypass the centralized computing monopoly of AWS and NVIDIA in the future. It invests in Story Protocol, a decentralized IP registry, to bypass OpenAI's illegal data scraping training model in the future. It is building a brand new, vertically integrated, decentralized economy. First, it uses the Chinese open source weapon to help it win the American Civil War. Then, through crypto, it migrates all its American dynamism companies and users to its own infrastructure, completely resolving the geopolitical paradox with China and also solving the unit economics problem of API costs. And the tiny WalterWrites we see today is merely the first flap of the wings in this multi-trillion-dollar market consolidation storm. Do you understand this game now?